The same process. Activating the spring condensation scripture, that mysterious feeling appeared once more. A finger pointed at the 2-inch tall spirit grain seedlings, and green light spots quickly emerged. Compared to last time, the phenomenon was much weaker. This was due to Zhou Shun's increased proficiency and enhanced control abilities. That's good, otherwise this kind of phenomenon every time during refinement might catch others' attention. Then, Zhou Shun took out the prepared plants. He directed the light spots towards the plants. The moment the light spots touched the plants, they immediately merged in. Soon, this plant became lush and vibrant, full of life. It seems this substance can also rejuvenate plant life. Next, Zhou Shun directed the green light spots onto the wooden table nearby, the spirit rice in the jar, and the restriction token on the door, testing them all. However, nothing changed. Zhou Shun shook his head, planning to end the research, when his hand accidentally nudged the elixir bottle in his pocket. At that moment, Zhou Shun had a sudden inspiration. Immediately, he took out the elixir bottle and poured out a refined grain avoidance pill. He then controlled a light spot to merge into the elixir. An amazing scene occurred. The green light spot and the elixir wondrously merged together. Zhou Shun's eyes reflected a look of wonder as he quickly picked up the grain avoidance pill for inspection. It seems the quality has improved. Though the improvement isn't much, could it be that the spirit grain seedlings are too ordinary? Zhou Shun speculated. I'll try again in the future. Even though he still had a spirit-attracting grass in hand, its value was over 150 spirit essence, and purchasing other spirit medicines also cost over 100 spirit essence. This kind of expenditure Zhou Shun couldn't afford to waste. In the days that followed, Zhou Shun spent his days refining grain avoidance pills at the Pill Treasure Pavilion, with a monthly task of 50 bottles. At night, he studied the energy-introducing pill recipe. The energy-introducing pill shared many refining techniques with the grain avoidance pill, allowing him to learn it much faster. By the 15th day, Zhou Shun had thoroughly mastered the process of refining the energy-introducing pill. He decided to start attempting to refine it. For safety, under the guise of studying pharmacology, Zhou Shun spent 2 spirit essence to buy 50 spirit grain seedlings from a spirit farmer's district neighbor. If he failed to refine the energy-introducing pill, he could still condense the spirit grain seedlings to improve its quality. The materials for the energy-introducing pill were worth nearly 2 spirit stones, and failing to refine them would be a significant loss. Returning to the alchemy room, Zhou Shun prepared to start his alchemy. During this time, many quasi-apprentices were busy practicing grain avoidance pill refining. Refining pills at this moment would not attract any attention. Moreover, alchemy required no disturbance, so the alchemy room was shut from within, and outsiders couldn't enter. Thus, Zhou Shun had no worries about exposing himself. He took out the energy-introducing pill materials and the bundle of spirit grain seedlings, placing them in front of him. Zhou Shun calmed his mind and heart, mentally simulating the energy-introducing pills refining process. He considered every detail several times, feeling assured of every aspect. Only then did he start the actual refinement. Following the same routine, warming the pill furnace, condensing the medicinal liquid, everything proceeded smoothly. Everything remained within Zhou Shun's control. The final spell was cast. The pill cover opened automatically and only 5 elixirs flew out. Only 2 barely qualify as standard products. The other 3 are merely inferior pills. Barely broke even, Zhou Shun sighed. He carefully recalled his process. It turned out that his lack of proficiency in condensing the medicinal liquid led to imperfect fusion later, ultimately causing some elixirs to fail in refining. Normally, 1 batch of this elixir should yield 10 elixirs. With exceptional performance, perfect condensing, and complete fusion of the medicinal liquid, one could refine up to 12 elixirs. Achieving that level would earn the title of master. If not for my divine sense and meticulous control, I'm afraid this entire batch would have been wasted. Once he understood the reason, Zhou Shun used the spring condensation scripture to extract the essence from the spirit grain seedlings, enhancing all 5 elixirs to standard quality. During this condensation, Zhou Shun discovered a limitation in condensing the essence. That is, elixir quality improvement is not boundless. He clearly felt that, towards the end, the enhancement from merging essence became negligible. After refining this batch of energy-introducing pills, Zhou Shun was almost penniless. Fortunately, in 2 days, on the 15th, it would be the appointment with Hong San for their trade. At the Celestial Fragrance Tower, the same private room as last time. The two completed the transaction, both in a good mood. One obtained the grain avoidance pill, confirming Zhou Shun's capability of providing elixirs. The other got spirit essence, alleviating his financial scarcity. Alchemist Zhou truly keeps his word, preparing the elixirs so quickly. "I toast to Alchemist Zhou," Hong San chuckled heartily. "It's just the most basic grain avoidance pill. I gathered them with help from a few colleagues." Zhou Shun smiled faintly, raising his cup for a toast. This spiritual banquet was worth over 20 spirit essence, courtesy of Hong San. After a satisfying meal, slightly tipsy, Hong San chuckled, turned slightly and lowered his voice. "Is Alchemist Zhou really content with just 1 or 2 spirit stones worth of trade each month? Factoring in costs, the profit isn't much. How could I not be tempted by spirit stones, but I lack the means?" Zhou Shun remained composed. "If Alchemist Zhou can provide energy-introducing pills, chi-concealing pills, I'll purchase them at 5 spirit essence below market price." Hong San struggled with his words for a moment, finally gritting out, "Oh." Zhou Shun's expression shifted, followed by a sigh. "Third Brother's offer is tempting, but alas, I'm powerless as well. The Pill Treasure Pavilion's path for selling excess inferior pills doesn't concern a newcomer like me, still under assessment." Hearing this, Hong San only shook his head. Leaving the Celestial Fragrance Tower, Zhou Shun went to the 100 Treasures Pavilion. In the same private compartment, Zhou Shun sold all the energy-introducing pills to the 100 Treasures Pavilion for a price of 35 spirit essence each. The 100 Treasures Pavilion bought a plethora of treasures daily, so a few energy-introducing pills wouldn't attract any attention. Fellow Taoist's alchemical talent is truly exceptional, successfully refining energy-introducing pills in such a short time. The middle-aged shopkeeper praised. Originally, the 100 Treasures Pavilion priced energy-introducing pills at 30 spirit essence each, but he valued Zhou Shun highly, specially adding 5 spirit essence to foster this overly talented young alchemist. The shopkeeper overpraises. "These 5 elixirs cost me 3 batches of materials. A huge loss indeed." Zhou Shun feigned dissatisfaction. "Fellow Taoist just started with energy-introducing pills. Having success with 3 batches is indeed commendable." The middle-aged shopkeeper consoled. Since energy-introducing pills are the most common low-grade elixir, Zhou Shun's success with 3 batches was entirely within reasonable expectations. After chatting briefly, collecting the spirit essence, Zhou Shun took his leave. Through 2 sales of the elixirs, Zhou Shun's earnings exceeded 3 spirit stones. However, he quickly traded them for 2 more sets of energy-introducing pill materials. According to his estimation, with the next refinement, he could produce 10 elixirs. Yet he didn't rush into refining, because the assessment determining whether he could officially become an alchemy apprentice was approaching.